やっぱりこっちの空気の方が心地いいな。では、狩りを始めるか。
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a very wonderful day today. So today we are going to be talking about the Brest as I promised in my Sherbrooke video. If you haven't watched that video, please watch it, right? Support me, a small content creator. Now, so let's come back to the topic. Let's talk about the Brest. Now this is the tier 9 Battlecruiser on the French Battlecruiser line. So this is the second Battlecruiser in the line, starting from Sherbrooke, the Brest, and finally the Marseille. Now at this time of this recording, I have finished grinding the Sherbrooke to get the Brest, and I have finished grinding the Brest to get the Marseille. So please subscribe, because I will show you guys the video of the Marseille and what do I think about it and about the line in general. Let's see if it's beginner friendly or not, right? So let's talk about the Brest. The biggest difference from the Brest, between the Brest and the Sherbrooke, is I think the fire chance, right? You have 36% fire chance. Finally, you actually have a really good fire chance for your reload. The Sherbrooke has garbage fire chance. I mean 18% at 30-second reload to 39-second reload. It's a joke, right? You can't even start a fire even if you use reload booster, right? It's so RNG based that at that point you play Sherbrooke, you don't expect to get a fire at all. You only shoot 8 shells every 29 seconds, plus you need to take into account at higher tiers ships have fire resistance. Okay, it have fire resistance, especially tier 10. So just imagine how little your fire chance is for your reload. Now you obviously have in Sherbrooke, you have 51mm of pen, which is a really great thing because you can farm German battleships, you can farm Yamatos and Musashis pretty well. And Brest is also have the same gun, but not the same gun, but the same ish gun, but in the sense that it is also a quite big gun for a cruiser. You get about 55mm pen, about 4mm more than the Sherbrooke's. Honestly, I don't think that makes a lot of difference, because I do believe that there are not any plates at 54mm. I could be wrong, obviously. So in essence, the only difference in my opinion for the guns is the slight increase on alpha, but that doesn't mean anything. But the biggest one is the fire chance. You can actually set fire, pop your reload booster, and set another fire to get a permanent fire. The way you play, any other French cruiser, right? Any other French cruiser. The only French cruisers I could think of at tier 9 is like Saint Louis and maybe Carnot. But Carnot is not really a good ship, so the only good ship, I guess, it's the Saint Louis. Now compared to the Saint Louis, you actually have quite a bit of armor, right? Saint Louis has 27 deck and 27 upper belt with 25 bow and stern. You actually have almost the same armor scheme as the Saint Louis. Only one big difference, that is your deck is actually 30mm. So at longer range, you actually could bounce a lot of ships in your tier. So those 406 to 410mm guns, such as the Izumo, Amagis, Ios, North Carolinas, those kinds of stuff, and even Montanas and Maines, you can bounce easily with your deck armor at long range, right? But still, your upper range is upper belt is still 27. So that means that at closer range, let's say below 15 kilometers, they could easily overmatch you through the upper belt. Now, one of the biggest downside to this ship is actually the angles for kiting, right? You saw in this video that I need to show a lot of broadside just to shoot my front two turrets, and that is actually quite a bad thing, especially since this ship wants to kite away. In my preferred playstyle, at least I want to kite away. Now the reason why you want to kite away in a front turret ship is because we are cruiser and cruiser armor. Let's say if I'm a John Bart or a Richelieu, I will be more brave in pushing, or I'm in bow tanking compared to cruisers. But this ship can't bow tank anything, right? You can't bow tank. You need to play in a move, and actually moving forward is quite a risky thing, you know. So I still prefer kiting away, even though I know my angles is such a bad is so bad, right? Plus, with my ship, maybe I could speed juke, especially since I have speed boost enabled and I run the fourth equipment upgrade slot. So that might help this ship dodge some shells, okay? But if let's say it's a good battleship player, they will, you know, intermittently their salvos. So they shoot and wait, shoot and wait, shoot and wait 1/3 at the time. Well, you will get hit, okay? So this ship is quite hard to play if let's say you are a beginner, right? Because you get pen everywhere, or roughly everywhere except for maybe in long ranges, and you actually still have battleship reload at 29 seconds. So if you can't really aim them and you can't really deal damage to them, you will have a bad game. And rough, and you know, as much as I play Brest, I find that I can't really break 100k that consistently, right? This ship, even though on paper it's better than Sherbrooke, I think I still like the Sherbrooke more for some reason, right? I know that I know that I said, you know, in the Sherbrooke video that I hate the Sherbrooke, I want to skip, but I can play that ship and feel powerful in this ship because you essentially still have the same armor as the Sherbrooke, but a tier higher. Although you get better guns, but the damage is still similar. Your DPM is still similar. The only difference is just now, right now you set more fires, but at the same time you're facing more scarier ship, right? Like you can still right now fight super ships like Satsumas, Mains, Hanovers. Those ships are really scary. And even facing Yamatos is quite scary in this ship. Yamatos and the latest addition, which is Wisconsin, is extremely scary in this ship, right? The Wisconsins could, blap you, even though you because the accuracy is so great, it can pan your superstructure and your bow or its turn. It can switch to HE and can burn you down because you have, battleship's fire durations and really quite a weak armor. And yeah, that's you will die quickly against Wisconsin if let's say you don't have teammates backing you up. Because Wisconsin is just really broken ship in my opinion. I think most, if you have watched YouTube, people say that Wisconsin is broken, and I do agree with that, just because of how much power that ship has, both in survivability and firepower. Now, going back to Brest, as long as you are fighting, let's say, back to like the Brest and Sherbrooke comparison. The reason why I like Sherbrooke more is because, first of all, you can meet tier 6, which is obviously Sherbrooke really dominates at that tier. You also have less long range fights, so you can actually hit a lot of shells but not endanger your ship in any way, right? If let's say in tier 8, the tier 8 fight is starting to get long range but not necessarily very long range, right? Like in tier 9 and tier 10s. That means that for Sherbrooke, you can hit more shells than the Brest. I noticed that in Brest, I can't really shoot with reload mode that much, so I just change it to range mode, just because the enemy is so far away, and if I use reload mode, I need to be close enough to the enemy But at that point, I'm overextending, right, from my teammates. So people will focus me down. And as I said before, the armor on this ship is not great. So if people focus you down, you will be dead instantly. I mean, like, it, it's so fast to die in this ship if you get focus fire. Now, your heal is still your heal is, you know, standard heal. You'll have standard damage control. Now, one good thing about this ship line is actually you have hydro, which means that if, let's say, a submarine hunts you down, and you can pop your hydro to defend yourself, or maybe like you're pushing a smoke screen, your speed boost on, use hydro, or just, you know, just a defensive mechanism against the torpedoes, right? But that leads to another problem with this ship. That is 7 kilometers depth charge range. That means that you can't really, you know, deal with submarines, especially at tier 10s, just because they have a huge amount of range advantage to their torpedoes compared to your depth charge. So it's extremely hard to kill a submarine without, you know, investing all your energy on focusing that submarine. Okay, let's say you still are fighting, you know, under ships and a submarine pops up. You can't really deal with that, except maybe if you push up and deal with the submarine, get closer more than 7 kilometers. Less than 7 kilometers, then you can drop your depth charge. And even then, you need to make sure that the submarine doesn't, you know, go out of the 7 kilometers in the 15-second range that your depth charge will explode. So and I have, you know, deal with U4501s, Balaos. It is tough in the ship. It's really hard. Those ships have, oh, especially U4501. It can be as fast as you are on the you know, on the sea, on the submerged. So yeah, you won't be catching up to them that easily. So overall, your ASW capabilities, I would say, is quite weak. But I don't know if all our tier 9 cruiser actually also is quite weak in the ASW department. I haven't played tier 9 cruisers in a long time. This is probably this year's my tier 9 cruiser, the first tier 9 cruiser I actually played this year. So maybe the Buffaloes, maybe the Rigas have bad ASW as well. I don't know. Please, if you know, comment down below in the comment section. Now, the Brest itself is also one of the, I guess, bigger ships, like fatter ships in my opinion, at least, because I get hit a lot in this ship. And the only reason I don't get hit is acceleration juke. Okay, this ship has really bad rudder shift, and not really bad actually, but it's just feels so clunky, right? You have 700 meters turning circle or 700 something, so it's not really that bad. But at the same time, I just feels it's so heavy to turn. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the speed. That means that the inertia of the ships makes the turning circle much bigger. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, by the way, if you pop your speed boost, you can get roughly almost 40 knots, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is quite fast for a cruiser. And the reason why I use speed boost is sometimes not only to get more speed, but to accelerate, get more acceleration. Now, this is how you should play any French cruisers, even the heavy cruiser one, the non-battle cruiser one, the Henri V, is to acceleration juke. You need, when you pop your speed boost, your acceleration is so good that you can acceleration juke. As maybe I could show you guys in a clip in this video as I talking, that I when they shoot, I reverse or I go forward and I stop again. You know, all this speed juking especially at greater than 16 or 17 kilometer range, will make you immune to damage, right? Closer than that, then it's a bit of an ambiguity, depends on the shell velocity of the enemy shooting at you. If it's like Soviet ships or rail guns like Kremlin's or Soviet Soyuz, or maybe some Bogon, those French ships, then you probably will still get hit. But let's say you are facing an Ohio or a Wisconsin, you might get away with it. Okay. Now, I already said a lot. Let me check my notes here. Okay, so the AA is also significantly better than the Sherbrooke. You have 254 continuous and 6 flag compared to Sherbrooke's 152 and 4 flags. So you can deal a lot more damage to tier 8 crew carriers than Sherbrooke, and somewhat defend yourself with tier 10 players. Obviously, tier 10 carriers. Obviously, you will still get strike, right? Now, the concealment is also better. Now, I don't really understand why it is. I would assume that the tier 9 will be worse, the concealment, than the tier 8s, while the tier 10 will be better than both of them. But I guess in this line, it's the other way around, right? Tier 9 have 14.7 kilo concealment stock to Cerberus 15.2. That means you can, be very, very quite more stealthy than the Sherbrooke is, which is really, really great. Now you have, big. Sorry, let's. Now, you actually also have the capabilities of a reload mod. So if, let's say, the game, when you're watching this video, the game is not that passive anymore, you want to put the reload mod in, feel free to do so, because this ship, if you put reload mod in, it will be a really great DPM, or in my opinion, really, really that good DPM. Now, it won't be able to, deal as much DPM as other cruisers, but your shells hit hard. Okay, you really hit hard. So if you pump out those shells at 27 seconds every time, it will be awesome. And you can pop your reload booster and get 1 and 7.5 salvos, I think. Oh, sorry, 1.75 salvos, which is really good, right? You can melt down battleships with that. The third setup, I already talked about that. And yeah, overall, let's do a conclusion on this video. I know it's been all over the place. Is it a good ship? I would say it's okay. At the same time, because this ship is okay, but you're facing a lot more scarier enemies, it really feels more of a grind, more of a weak ship compared to the Sherbrooks in its tier. So it's not the ship's fault, it's just the enemies is more scarier, even though you have almost the same capabilities as the Sherbrooke. And I think that this effect makes the Brest less enjoyable for me in my grind, especially since you actually need to grind a huge amount of XP from tier 9 to tier 10 compared to tier 8 to tier 9, right? And yeah, it's honestly not a really good experience. I pop my blue boosters and just speed through it by taking the ×2 bonus per day and playing it every day. That's why I took so long to make this video from the Sherbrooke video, just because I hate playing this ship. The Sherbrooke one, I much more enjoy, especially since you can face tier 9s, tier 6s, and in those top tier match, oh man, the Sherbrooke is much better. Now, obviously you can get tier 9s, you can get tier 7s, but if you have played tier 9s recently, you know that matchmaking to get if you are tier 9 to get tier 7 is so rare this MM cycle that it might as well not exist, because you will get either tier 10s. The best scenario that I have gotten is tier 9 to tier 8s. Maybe the entire grind on my Brest, I only got one game facing tier 7s. I don't know, the best one is maybe 9 to 8. The second best one is will be all 9s, 9 10s, and finally the worst one will be super ships, right? I face a lot of super ships in this Brest, and it's quite hard to deal with them, because especially if Satsuma decided to focus you down, you will you will take a lot of damage, man, from those F buttons, right? Anyways, I guess that's all for the Brest tutorial. Sorry, not tutorial, Brest review. As I said, let's make a conclusion again. Whether I recommend this line for newbie, I don't think so, right? But I will explain it more on the Marseille video, which it will be coming up. And spoiler alert, I really like that ship. You know, the Marseille is so much better than Brest. So let's see. In that video, I don't know when I will post that or I will record that, but I have played 3 games today because I got the Marseille just before recording this video, and I must say I deal quite a good amount of damage. I got quite a good amount of base XP. So overall, I enjoy the Marseille much better than the Brest. So look forward to it. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope you all are safe and healthy in the days to come. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.